yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They'll pay for their disease. Just like a weed.
It started out a little hotter this morning. It's gonna cool down as we get into the night. But when it comes to DJ Storms, things are always heating up. Especially considering the fact that it's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth, streaming live on 4 different platforms across 6 different accounts. And the energy is absolutely uncomparable when it comes to DJ Storms, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, shit. Do you smell that? Do you know what that is? I'll tell you what that is right there. That right there is the smell of pure fucking excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. Yeah. Let me talk to you. I'm sorry, LA Knight. I'm stealing your catchphrase. This is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, June 10th, 2023. And you're damn right I'm looking good, Hula Grim. When do I not look good? When do I not look good? Hope you guys are having a very nice weekend. I appreciate every single one of you taking the time to stop by and show the devil some love. I see we got Hula Grim, we got Peanuts in the chat, Dee Dee's in the chat, Sarah Hapka. A lot of good people. A lot of good people. It's what I like to see. It's what I like to see. We got another stacked edition of the Lightning Flash update for you guys here on this fine Saturday afternoon, including news on why Lance Archer has not been seen too much within the wrestling industry. He is apparently dealing with an injury. What is AEW's reaction to Chris Statlander's return and how they feel about her. On top of that, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar are set for a third match. God help us all, because it's taking place at SummerSlam, so we got to deal with fucking Roman Reigns as world champion until WrestleMania 40. On top of that, Indus Sher is lined up for a potential big push as WWE looks to be hosting another international premium live event in September in India. And CM Punk has been very, very impressed with a certain Mr. Jay White, the leader of Bullet Club Gold. And Jay White could very well be CM Punk's first major feud upon his return to All Elite Wrestling. And of course, we're going to talk about the weekly shows. Wrestling this week was kind of half-baked. Raw was decent. Dynamite was one hell of a show. SmackDown was on the lackluster side. And Rampage, I was actually very disappointed in Rampage because last week's Rampage was a very, very good show. Probably one of the best episodes that they've done. And this week, the flow of the show was off and things did not hit the way that Rampage usually hits. So I was rather disappointed with the wrestling that we got on Friday. SmackDown wasn't all that good either. Without the Bloodline storyline, SmackDown would be absolute shit. I mean, it pretty much is outside of the Bloodline storyline, but we're going to go over everything. We got 4 weekly shows, and then, of course, after I get off, after I work out, then I'm going to go home, take a shower, and I'm headed straight to Totowa. I'm headed straight to Totowa, New Jersey, because it is Totowa Day. It is Totowa, New Jersey's 125th anniversary as a town here in New Jersey, which is absolutely unfucking believable. It's actually almost unheard of. So Totowa is hosting its 4th annual Totowa Day, and in the streets, ISPW will be invading Totowa Day as we got ourselves a nice little mini show before we get to the next major show in West Milford on July 7th. We got Vicious Vicky, she's defending the women's title. GKM's defending the Tri-State title against Ray Kalitri and Joey Ace. We got the Barbarian of ISPW, Yosifer L, taking on TJ Epics. And in the main event, Rick Recon's defending the world championship against Vargas, who is pretty much our version of Umaga. He is awesome. He is awesome. And yes, Hula Grim, the air is finally cleared up. I'm very, very happy about that. I was actually a little fearful that they were going to cancel the event today, but thankfully they didn't. But that's later. That's later. We got plenty of shit to get into as we speak right now. But before we get into that, obviously, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you follow me on social media at HistoryMakerDJS. Once again, that is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on Twitter and Instagram, as you can see in the ticker scrolling along the bottom of your screen there. Be sure to add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description, as well as my vlog for ISPW Brawl for the Bulldogs, which took place last Friday in Butler, New Jersey. Butler, New Jersey was probably the best crowd that Butler, New Jersey has had. And Rick Recon and Crowbar fought for the 5th time in the main event, which was interrupted by Bull James. We also had the Silk City Kings taking on main event Michael Mars and Justin Carino. GKM fought his former partner, Leo Sparrow, and successfully retained the Tri-State title. If you guys missed it and you want to go check out those highlights, link is in the description, as well as the link to my friend Brittany K's Twitter and Instagram. It was recently her birthday, so happy belated birthday to Miss Brittany K. She is a wonderful individual, good friend of mine, and big supporter of the DJ Storms channel and the DJ Storms brand. She does beautifully crafted graphic designs and drawings, crafted from scratch on her iPad. So if you guys are interested in that and you want to buy some of these pictures including the likes of Karrion Kross and Scarlett and Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss and Roman Reigns and the Usos, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, House of Black, Jon Moxley, all these individuals, as well as if you want new Twitter avies, and or Twitter banners, she is your girl. She is your girl. So go and check her out. Her Twitter and her Instagram links are in the description. Shout out to Raging Girl Gamer. Shout out to Raging Girl Gamer. I greatly appreciate you coming on back on. Hooligram has really been tuning it up here on the DJ Storms channel, Rage. So I don't know about you, but I think we may have to get you back on the channel sooner rather than later, because Hooligram, he's got a nice string of shows for himself. We haven't had you on since November. But thank you once again, Miss Raging Girl Gamer, for stopping by the channel. Of course, if you haven't already done so, people, please make sure that you like the stream, no matter where you're watching it from. Whether you're watching it on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, is incredibly vital that you like the stream, because it helps me out. And of course, it helps the Hardcore Sports brand out. Of course, we are streaming live on Hardcore Sports Twitter at Hardcore Sports _ Hardcore Sports Twitch at Hardcore Sports 1, and the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel at Hardcore Sports Network. We are over 700 subscribers for Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, and we are over 21,040 subs for your boy DJ Storms. So people, if you want to show support to the channel, besides liking the stream, you got to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and to the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, because then we're going to get a wider outreach. We're going to get a wider audience. Things are going to operate a hell of a lot more smoothly. And more people will know that DJ Storms is live on a Saturday. Saturdays are my day. And people are going to get their weekly dosage of DJ Shizzle Dizzle. You already know the drill. I mean, come on. Everybody needs a dose of DJ Shizzle Dizzle. I think I may have to make that into a t-shirt. I think I may have to make that shit into a t-shirt. Thank you very much, Dee, for sharing that out. Of course, hit the subscribe button and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube. You know why? Because it's the only time that you can get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Yo, Rage, you're in here for the best part of the show right here. The best part of the show always takes place in the beginning, and we're going to light it up right here. Apparently, Earl Cole's not in the chat, but we're going to light it up for him here. This beautifully crafted Ace black comb, and we're going to light it up right here with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like a beautifully made chicken bacon ranch melt sub sandwich from Subway, which I had for lunch today, and my God, did it hit the spot. The cheese was melted perfectly, and the bacon was crispy as ever. It was on flatbread too. You gotta have a little lettuce, a little tomato and a cucumber, a little bit of red onions, and the ranch. Beautifully toasted. I am telling you, just like me, it's just so good. I am the tastiest snack in the IWC, and everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Anyway, I'm getting a little carried away here. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. As you can see, there are a lot of material, a lot of shit to go over, lots of news coming out of this week in professional wrestling, a lot to talk about, so strap in, people. Man, nothing's better than just that taste of cool ice water. Anyway, my first report here that we got on the Lightning Flash update comes from Mike Johnson of PW Insider, and apparently, according to him, a number of people backstage were very, very happy regarding Chris Statlander's win at Double or Nothing, and the reaction backstage, the happiness amongst people backstage is said to be infinite. She is, and I quote, one of the most universally beloved people behind the scenes, and it is said that she is in line for a strong championship run. And I am very, very pleased to hear that, because if there's one individual who has legitimately busted her ass week in and week out to showcase to everyone why she should be in a higher position, I'm telling you, it is Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander has done everything in her power to showcase to everyone that she is the future of the women's division, and she is easily one of the strongest, if not the strongest, homegrown talent that AEW has. And I would even put her over Britt Baker. I'm not even bullshitting you. I would even put her over Britt Baker. Chris Statlander is one hell of a professional wrestler. She can talk. She's got a great look. She's incredibly fucking agile and incredibly fucking smooth in the ring. Not as smooth as AR Fox, but AR Fox, he's like fucking Ricochet 2.0. But Chris Statlander, I'm telling you, Chris Statlander, easily one of the most deserving individuals for a championship in AEW. She has busted her ass to lose weight. She got more fit. She got better in the ring. She just presents herself like a superstar. And the fact that she is infinitely beloved backstage, I can only imagine that she's going to be showcased heavily on Dynamite. She's going to be showcased heavily on Rampage. And I definitely see a strong championship run in her future. I would not be surprised if she holds that title going into next year. And based on the matches that we've seen so far, they're not blow away, but when we start getting into the nitty-gritty months of her championship reign, you can imagine that she's going to have some big opponents and she's going to put on some damn good fucking matches. So I'm very, very happy to hear that Chris Statlander's win was very well received backstage, and I can only imagine great things coming in her future as the new TBS champion. I got a report that's a little bit on the negative side. Lance Archer, he has not been wrestling too much as we've recently seen. He's maybe made one appearance on Rampage. He's maybe made one appearance here or there on Ring of Honor. Lance Archer has been out after recently making a return to TV a few months back. Lance Archer actually came out on what was it? I think it was after his loss to Will Ospreay after Dominion, and he was on the post-Dominion press conference, the thing that Tony Khan does, but New Japan also does it. It's like a post-media press conference after one of their big shows. Will Ospreay defeated Lance Archer at Dominion to earn a shot at Kenny Omega and the IWGP United States Championship, and he came out after his loss against Will Ospreay at Dominion as to why he hasn't been wrestling a lot. And he stated, and I quote, AEW, NJPW, every fucking mark, this message is for you. Now, I could only imagine that he was kind of half in kayfabe, half being serious. He goes, and I quote, there's a reason I haven't been wrestling a lot. It's nothing to do with bad booking, you dumb shits. I've been battling a torn tricep and didn't tell because I don't need your sympathy. End quote. So for those of you who have been wondering why Lance Archer has been out of action, why he hasn't been seen, it has nothing to do with bad booking. It has nothing to do with the fact that New Japan and AEW do not know what to do with him. It has to do with the fact that he is currently dealing with a torn tricep. And based on what's been going on, it is probably rather severe if he is only wrestling maybe once every month. He's pulling an MJF route. But MJF, he only wrestles once a month because that's just who he is. That's his character. But Lance Archer, I mean, he is a bit on the older side. How old is he? 46, 47? He's getting up there. He's going to be 50. He doesn't look 50. He doesn't look 50 at all. He looks fucking great for his age. I would love to be that fucking fit at 50 years old. But at the end of the day, he is a little bit more on the older side. Maybe he could be winding down his career too. Maybe he's coming to the realization that his body cannot hold up like it used to. I don't know. I don't want to think that, but at the end of the day, Father Time waits for nobody. Father Time waits for no man. But for those of you that have been wondering, that's why Lance Archer is out. Now, I get that he doesn't want anyone's sympathy, and I understand that what goes on in a wrestler's personal life is really none of our business, but he does kind of have to, he has to know that without a clear-cut explanation given to us by either the promoter or the wrestler themselves, we're left to assume. And some people want to assume bad booking. Now, I don't necessarily think that Tony Khan wants to badly book Lance Archer. It feels to me as though Tony Khan sees Lance Archer as more of an attraction. Maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling is starting to fall into that too. Maybe he's just a little bit more injury prone, and maybe they just don't want to push him because he is injury prone. I don't know. But either way, he's been out because he's been dealing with a torn tricep. I can only hope that he gets back to full health sooner rather than later, because when Lance Archer is on TV and he's put in major scenarios, when he's given the opportunities, Lance Archer knocks it out of the park. Lance Archer is fucking great at what he does. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. I'm sure that people are sick of that shit and they are ready to drive their head into a concrete wall because this shit is so terrible. Well, unfortunately, I have news regarding Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, and it's not over. It's not over. God help us all. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer reported that Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes Part 3 will take place at SummerSlam of this year. Brian Alvarez followed up on this report by stating that the match will have a stipulation that we haven't seen in a while, although it was not specified as to what it would be. Some people on Twitter are throwing around the rumor that it could be a bull rope match. According to Better Wrestling Experience, a dog collar match was actually pitched to be the stipulation for the third match, but it was ultimately rejected by either Cody Rhodes or Brock Lesnar, which is pretty much saying that it was rejected by Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is a lazy bum. It was noted that Cody could absolutely, and I quote, revisit the stipulation for a later feud with a different opponent that's not a monster like Brock Lesnar. So Better Wrestling Experience is pretty much telling you, without actually telling you, that Brock Lesnar did not want to do a dog collar match because he's lazy. Although I'm not really sure how they're going to clear a bull rope match by Brock Lesnar. Again, I don't really know what I could say regarding Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes that I haven't already said. The only thing that I'm going to say differently that I haven't been saying is the fact that this shit is a mistake. If you're going to do a third match, I would do it at Money in the Bank. I would have Cody Rhodes fight Brock Lesnar at Money in the Bank, and then if he beats Brock in a last chance survival match, then he gets an opportunity to be in Money in the Bank. He cashes in his opportunity, wins Money in the Bank, and he cashes in on Roman at SummerSlam. He cashed in on Roman at SummerSlam, finally ties up loose ends, and this bloodline, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns shit, it comes to a head. That's the way it needs to go down, because I'm telling you right now, no matter how hot the bloodline storyline is right now, they're not going to be able to keep this hot going into next year's WrestleMania. I'm sorry. They're just not. They're not. You cannot honestly tell me that they would be able to keep this bloodline shit hot going all the way into Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40 next year. The best route to go would be to do Cody and Brock at Money in the Bank. Cody wins, gets into the ladder match, wins the ladder match, cashes in on Roman, and finally we get the culmination of this bloodline storyline. Jay is ultimately going to side with Jimmy because I do believe Jimmy will end up fighting Roman at Money in the Bank, and Roman's going to beat him down so much that Jay will side with him. Then, at SummerSlam, when the chips are down and it's Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns Part 2, Solo Sikoa will inevitably say fuck you to Roman, spike him, Cody wins the championship, and now we have the full culmination of this bloodline angle. There's no way you're going to be able to keep it this hot and this intriguing going into WrestleMania 40. And on top of that, people are fucking sick of Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. It makes no sense to begin with. End this shit at Money in the Bank. Don't even bother doing it at SummerSlam. Moving on here, I got a report regarding AEW Creative. Bryan Danielson, according to Dave Meltzer, this comes from Wrestling Observer Radio, Bryan Danielson has got a lot of booking influence in AEW, more than people think. Him and Tony Khan have a similar thought process, and they bounce ideas off of each other. For example, last week's edition of Rampage, the Championship Friday edition of Rampage, was an idea that Tony Khan and Bryan Danielson both came up with. And if that's the case, you know what? I think that Bryan Danielson should be involved with AEW Creative a lot more often. These last two Dynamites coming out of Double or Nothing were both great. Rampage last week was great. Rampage this week was a complete fucking miss. I don't know what the fuck happened at Rampage this week. Well, actually, I do know what happened. They're stuffing too much material into Rampage. They're stuffing too much material into Rampage, and they need to spread that shit out. Some of the shit, I don't even know why it's on television. I don't know why the fuck they're doing this storyline with Aubrey Edwards and Karen Jarrett. I don't know why Mark Briscoe is even involved with this storyline with Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. I don't. Mark Briscoe should be building up himself on Ring of Honor television because he's got a rematch coming up with Samoa Joe. It's not confirmed, but that's the only way to go. He's got a rematch coming up with Samoa Joe at Death Before Dishonor, where he is inevitably going to win the World Television Championship. He should win the World Television Championship. There's no reason why Mark Briscoe should lose. You had him lose at Supercard, which was fine because then you can get Joe past 1 year as champion. You can continue to build Joe up as a monster, and it makes people want to see Mark Briscoe win the championship even more. It's a lot different than what happened with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, so please do not try and compare shit. But I'd like to hope that Bryan is going to continue putting forth efforts like he put forth last week on Rampage with the Championship Friday edition, because that was a very, very good episode of Rampage. Easily the best episode of Rampage all year. Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, according to PW Insider, was backstage at Raw this week, along with a couple of top-tier executives from Stamford, Connecticut. Now, I am not sure what exactly Vince was doing, but apparently, according to Wrestling Observer Radio, I believe I read this from Dave Meltzer, Vince McMahon made multiple changes to the script. He made multiple changes to the script, meaning that he moved some segments around. Now, I'm not sure how much of an effect he really had, because at the end of the day, Monday Night Raw this week was actually a pretty decent show. Not even lying. Not even lying. Monday Night Raw this week was actually a pretty decent fucking show. I'm not sure if it's going to continue. I don't. Because at the end of the day, SmackDown wasn't terrible, but it really wasn't anything that I would encourage you to go back and rewatch. Matter of fact, SmackDown kind of felt like Rampage. It was just so fucking packed this week. It was a very bad week for Friday Night Wrestling. Very, very bad week. But again, as far as Monday Night Raw goes, I'm not really sure what he did, but it was not a terrible show. It wasn't a bad episode of Monday Night Raw. Matter of fact, I was expecting some sports entertainment bullshit, but we actually got some very, very, very solid professional wrestling, and we got some solid storylines being advanced. And we'll talk about that when we get to the weekly show reviews. Moving on, we're going to stick with Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer was actually in the news a lot. He was reporting shit left and right. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, he gave a pretty decent note on Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is still not getting a push in WWE despite her television return, and it seems like she will be a heel on the lower end of the totem pole. And to be quite honest with you, I'm sure no one has an issue with that. Lacey Evans right now is the female Baron Corbin. She is legit the female Baron Corbin. Nothing that they've done with her has worked. The only difference between her and Baron Corbin is the fact that Baron Corbin actually had a bright future at one point when he was the lone wolf. They called up Baron Corbin at the right time and they kept him with the right gimmick. And as soon as they got rid of the lone wolf gimmick, shit just completely went up in smoke. It went up in smoke for him. But Lacey Evans never had that. Lacey Evans was called up from NXT way too early. Lacey Evans was actually building a decent little reputation for herself in NXT with the sassy Southern Belle gimmick. It wasn't over the top. It really wasn't anything intriguing down in NXT. I mean, there were a lot of people who were ahead of Lacey Evans, but at the end of the day, Lacey Evans was actually putting on some decent fucking matches in NXT. You called her up from NXT way too early. You put her in a feud with Becky Lynch, and somehow she actually regressed in the ring as time went on. She tried at some point, but as time went on, At some point, you just got to know when to cut your losses. I understand that Triple H really does not want to go and release people like this, but at the end of the fucking day, Lacey Evans is just a waste of fucking time. I'm sorry. Lacey Evans is a waste of time, and at the end of the day, it's just time to let her go. Just let her go. I'm sorry. We will see what happens as far as Lacey Evans goes, but there just really isn't anything that they could do. They've legitimately tried everything with Lacey Evans. At some point, you just need to know when enough is enough. When enough is enough, you just continue on with your way and drop the dead weight. Lacey Evans is dead fucking weight. She will go nowhere in the pro wrestling industry. She will go nowhere. She has just been beaten to death, figuratively, so much by WWE. Countless character changes, countless opportunities. She's not good in the ring at all. She's not a good promo, and no one is going to connect with her. She does not connect. She just doesn't. Some people connect, some people don't. Lacey Evans just doesn't connect. It's just time to let her go. It really is. I really don't understand why WWE just continues to beat dead horses. They're doing it with Corbin. They're doing it with Lacey. And you know what? I think they're going to do it with Indus Sher as well. They could very well be pushing Indus Sher to the tag team titles sooner rather than later. And considering that I just mentioned it, we may as well talk about this now. Because apparently, PW Insider Elite reported that WWE is set to push Indus Sher, and they have them positioned strongly on the brand as WWE builds towards a special show in India in September of this year. Now, I don't want to come off like I'm shitting on Indus Sher. I really don't want to come off like I'm shitting on Indus Sher because at the end of the day, they have potential. They do. But potential is a lot different than being ready. You sense when an individual is ready. You can feel the vibe pulsing through your television screen saying an individual is ready. Indus Sher has a lot of potential. They do. But at the end of the day, WWE is going to have to do something with them that they never fucking do with anybody. And that is invest long term. Not invest for 5 months and then give up on them. Not push them within 4 months and push them to the tag team titles just because you got to push these political Indian narratives like you did with Jinder Mahal, these fucking India agendas. You can't just push them to the tag team titles just because you're high on them 1 minute and you got to get that out of the way. No, you need to invest time in them. Look at Hangman Adam Page on AEW television. Could Hangman have won the world title his first go around against Jericho? Yeah, Hangman's great, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't have felt as special. It wouldn't have felt as special. You could sense that Hangman was not in the position that he should have been back in 2019 when he fought Jericho for the world championship. But then we saw him go on a quest to gain the respect of Matt and Nick Jackson. He excluded himself from the Elite. He won the tag team titles with Kenny Omega. And he went on this quest throughout 2021, beating guys like Matt Hardy and Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs and all these individuals because he was being built up naturally. He was being built up naturally to go and fight for the world championship against the same man that he was once tag team champions with. And at Full Gear 2021, you felt it. You felt it and you sensed it. Hangman was ready. And when he won the world title, it felt great. Cody Rhodes this year at WrestleMania was ready for Roman Reigns. It doesn't fucking matter about the torn tricep. It doesn't fucking matter how long he's been away. It doesn't fucking matter how dominant Roman Reigns was. You listen. Listen to the fucking reaction. Feel the vibe. Pulse through the fucking screen when Cody Rhodes wrestled Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. Cody was ready. They didn't pull the trigger, but he was ready, and you sensed it. Do you sense that Indus Sher is ready. No. And guess what? They're not going to be ready if you keep on feeding them jobber tag teams. You need to put them in the ring with legit tag teams, legitimate tag teams. You need to put them in competitive matches with the likes of the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders and the OC and the Brawling Brutes. Before they get to the tag team titles, you need to spend at least 1.5 to 2 years working on them. How old are they? They're not that old. They're not that old at all. You can absolutely invest long-term with them. Will they? Probably not. Probably not. I want to like Indus Sher. But at the end of the day, I can't get behind them if you do not give me a reason to get behind them. If you do not push them naturally, if you do not build them up naturally and not push them to a tag team title match just because they're having a show in India. You can't do that. You can't do that. It would be a literal carbon copy of giving Jinder Mahal the WWE Championship back in 2017 because you have to push the Indian market. If you want to put them on the show, you can put them on the show, but they better not be fighting for the fucking tag team titles. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Look at the landscape of tag teams that they have. They're feuding with Imperium right now. You also got the Judgment Day and the Brawling Brutes and the OC and the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. Gargano and Ciampa. You have Ciampa coming back from injury. It is unbelievable how they are so high on Indus Sher that they're bypassing all these other tag teams for Indus Sher. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a wide variety of teams, just like I mentioned. Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, OC, Judgment Day, Imperium. Ciampa is set to come back from injury and potentially reunite DIY with Johnny Gargano. DIY versus Owens and Zayn. If there's one match that could rival the Usos from WrestleMania, that's it. That's it. Why would you jeopardize that just to push Indus Sher to the tag team titles? You need to invest at least 1.5 to 2 years with Indus Sher. Right now, they're coming out to crickets. And right now, you're already fighting up an uphill battle because how many monster tag teams have you just completely destroyed over the years? Remember the Authors of Pain? Remember Sanity? What's the difference between them and Indus Sher? They're all monster teams. Indus Sher beating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at the Saudi Arabian or the Indian event in September would be an absolute travesty. It would be an absolute travesty. It wouldn't be as bad as Jinder Mahal, but it would not be favorable. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. You're going to make them get go-away heat. You're going to make people want to root against them. You're going to make people change the channel when they're on. I'm telling you this right now. If WWE pushes Indus Sher to the tag team titles for their premium live event in India, and they give them the tag team titles, it is going to backfire majorly. I don't even think the people in India give a shit about Veer Sangha and Jinder. They didn't give a shit when Jinder was the WWE champion. They wanted to see Roman Reigns back then, and Roman Reigns was the worst act in the industry as a babyface. You're going to jeopardize Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's tag team title reign and take the titles off and put them on Indus Sher before we get matches with DIY and the Judgment Day and the Brawling Brutes and the OC and the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders and all these individuals. You're going to jeopardize that for an Indian political agenda. How about this? How about instead of pushing people that are from the country, how about you put on a great overall product? Oh, I'm sorry. No, WWE's too lazy for that. It's unbelievable. I really don't understand how I need to sit here and I need to explain how it would be an absolute terrible fucking move to give Indus Sher the tag team titles this fucking early. I really don't understand. I'm shocked that it's 2023 and they're still doing the same fucking shit. It's unreal. Edge. I got some news regarding Edge. It was announced that Edge is actually set to make his return to WWE when SmackDown heads to Toronto on August 18th, which is actually a little shocking. And it's a little shocking to me specifically because I didn't really think that Edge would have been away for that long. I thought that they would have built up something for Edge going into SummerSlam. Maybe Edge is winding down his career. Maybe Edge is talking to WWE. Maybe they're renegotiating a potential deal. I'm not really sure how much longer Edge has on his deal. I'm not really sure if Edge is thinking about leaving because Christian did say that Edge could absolutely finish up his deal with WWE and go and finish up his entire career elsewhere. I mean, Edge and Christian in AEW, that would be rather interesting to say the least. But it's just a little shocking that they would return Edge after SummerSlam. But then again, maybe SummerSlam doesn't really need Edge. Hurt Business. Some people have been wondering, what's the deal with the Hurt Business? There is no deal with the Hurt Business. And that's the sad thing. Better Wrestling Experience, who has been a top-tier insider on Twitter in recent months. Better Wrestling Experience, he was asked on his private Twitter about WWE's plan for Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business to reunite after it was teased a few times. Better Wrestling Experience let the cat out of the bag and stated that the reunion plan had indeed been scrapped. I mean, no shit. I mean, no fucking shit. No fucking shit. I mean, look at what happened this past Monday. Hurt Business reunion's been scrapped. No shit. Look at what happened this past Monday. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander got fucking destroyed by Indus Sher. The match didn't even fucking happen. And as soon as that happened, I said to myself, well, I'll give you one guess where Cedric and Shelton are going on July 1st. Budget cut. Goodbye. See you later on the Indies. It's a fucking shame. It really is a fucking shame. You know how I know? Just watch the show. Watch the show. Hurt Business reunion completely fucking scrapped. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with Bobby Lashley. I don't know what they're going to do with fucking MVP. MVP and Omos haven't been seen in a month. Hurt Business reunion scrapped. Why? Vince McMahon. Vince wanted to end it, and Vince is preventing it from coming back. But yet there's some people that still want to say that Triple H is in charge. Some people want to say Triple H is in charge. Maybe you need to get your fucking priorities straight, people. CM Punk. CM Punk. I'll go with the negative news first. Negative news first here with CM Punk. According to Wrestling Observer Radio, outside of Chicago, CM Punk has failed to boost the ticket sales for AEW Collision. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. CM Punk was never going to boost the ticket sales for AEW Collision. Here's the problem with that. It's 2023. John Cena was even caught on record saying this himself. The days of people booking a wrestling company, building one man as a singular draw, those days are over. Those days are done, over with, never to be seen again. You know what it's all about nowadays? Nowadays, it's all about the overall show. The only draw in professional wrestling nowadays is Roman Reigns. And when Roman Reigns is inevitably gone, the company's going to have no one. Here's the problem. Roman Reigns, yes, he is a draw. He's the only draw in wrestling today. But at the end of the fucking day, when you build a singular man, a singular individual as a draw, you are neglecting everything else and everything else around that individual. Everything else underneath said individual is going to suffer. Tony Khan cannot operate like Vince McMahon. He cannot operate with the mentality of, yeah, one man is a draw. No, you need to put on a great overall product. You need to focus on putting on a great overall show. You need to focus on giving us great matches, great storylines, great material on a weekly basis, not just with one specific individual. But at the end of the day, the reason why AEW Collision ticket sales are not doing good, plain and simple, Saturday weekly shows don't work. Listen, Jonathan Coachman is a fucking WWE dick rider. He's got the WWE dick so far up his ass, I can't even tell when they begin and he ends. I can't. But at the end of the day, one thing that Jonathan Coachman said that's true, Saturday weekly shows in wrestling, they don't work. They don't work. That's the biggest reason why I was skeptical with AEW Collision. If it was on a Tuesday, if it was on a Thursday, we'd be singing a little bit of a different tune. But it's not. It's not. Unfortunately, they had to put it on Saturday. Listen, I love AEW. They're great at what they do, and they are going to be doing some great shit going forward. They really are. And I cannot wait to see what they do going forward with Forbidden Door. Cannot wait to see what they do going forward for All In. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But Saturday weekly shows, I'm sorry, even for AEW, they're not going to work. They're not. Unless it's a pay-per-view, unless it's a special event, Saturday shows for pro wrestling do not work. They don't. That's why the ticket sales are suffering. Saturday weekly shows just don't work. And to be quite honest with you, the fact that these ticket sales are pretty poor, I would not be shocked if Time Warner potentially makes a pitch to move AEW Collision off of Saturday night, which I hope that's the case because there's just way too much wrestling across the week altogether. Some shows shouldn't even be on TV. NXT shouldn't even be on television. If NXT was off TV and on Peacock and we had fucking Collision on Tuesdays, it would work out a hell of a lot better. It really would. But at the end of the fucking day, Saturday weekly shows, they don't work. Saturday weekly wrestling shows are a flop. I'll tell you what's not a flop, though. Jay White is not a flop. Jay White has been doing some great shit on AEW TV, and he's only been here for 2 months. He's been embroiled in a program with Ricky Starks, and they've been putting on some damn good matches. He's got Juice Robinson. He has main evented Dynamite. He's going to be main eventing the first ever AEW Collision. And apparently he is building a faction as we speak. The Gun Club could potentially join, and El Phantasmo from New Japan Pro Wrestling, he could potentially join in on Bullet Club Gold. But according to Fightful Select, CM Punk has taken a liking to Jay White. Punk is said to be very interested in Jay White's work, and they could very well be a future feud on AEW Collision upon CM Punk's return. I would not mind that whatsoever. Not only is that great for Punk because Jay White, he's a fucking professional, but it's great for Jay White because him being in a program with easily one of the biggest stars in AEW right now in CM Punk, that is going to be an absolute fucking knockout program. It really is. I find it so fucking funny how people want to continue to fucking spew the fact, oh, Jay White's being ruined. Oh, Jay White's being buried. He's main evented Dynamite. He's main eventing the first episode of Collision. He's building Bullet Club Gold right before our very eyes, and he could potentially be going to a program with CM Punk going into the summer, which could potentially result in a match in Wembley Stadium. That in itself is a win. Fighting CM Punk in front of 65,000+ fans in Wembley Stadium, that is a win unto itself. Whether Jay White wins or loses, it doesn't matter. Jay White right now is a top priority in AEW TV, and a program with Punk would absolutely take him to the next level. Matter of fact, I would not even mind if Jay White ends up winning the TNT Championship from Wardlow down the line. I know I called Miro, but I mean Jay White as TNT Champion, I mean that title would look damn fucking good on him. Just saying. CM Punk and Jay White, major program. We'll have to keep our eyes on that, and I am certainly going to be keeping you guys updated. Plenty of good material coming there, and I cannot wait to see who Punk feuds with going into the future on AEW Collision. Those are the weekly news, rumors, and reports that I got for you. Now onto the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw. I'm always honest. I'm always upfront. Monday Night Raw was actually a fairly okay show. I don't know what changed. I'm not sure how much influence Vince really had on the show. But hey, for 1 week, we got a decent show. And you could sense where they wanted to go. It genuinely felt like WWE had a solid plan with where they wanted to go regarding multiple programs on this show. You got Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. You got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Imperium. You got Matt Riddle and Gunther. I would prefer that to happen at SummerSlam and not Money in the Bank. Now, we could potentially still get that at SummerSlam because Matt Riddle's fighting Damian Priest in a Money in the Bank qualifier on Monday Night Raw this coming Monday, which I would have no issue with. That's actually a very unpredictable match. You could put either one of those men in the ladder match. But that seems to be where they're building towards, Matt Riddle and Gunther. When Monday Night Raw has direction, it's going to be a decent show. And this show had direction. We got a lot of good wrestling. We got some decent promos. Got some video packages. Some decent stuff. Pretty decent episode of Raw. Rollins kicked off the show. Crowd singing his song. Hartford, Connecticut, he said, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins." I started thinking to myself, when was the last time we had a heavyweight title match right here on Raw? It was nearly 2 years ago. And I thought to myself, why don't we do an open challenge here in Hartford? Because 2 years is too damn long. And that open challenge was answered by the Judgment Day's Damian Priest. And I'm kind of psyched about it because I wanted to fight the best. Judgment Day, they are as good as it gets, but they just ain't me. Judgment Day, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor, the two of them came out. No Dominic, no Rhea. Rollins then mocked Dom and Rhea for not coming out. Priest said that Rollins should only be worrying about him. Rollins then mocked Priest for having Balor with him all the time. Does he hold your hand on the slide? Does he watch you while you go to the bathroom? Balor then mocked Rollins for being a funny guy, and Balor promised that Priest will beat Rollins tonight. Priest then showed some uncharacteristic praise to Seth Rollins, but he reminds him that he's beaten the best just like Rollins has beaten the best, and tonight I will not fall. I don't need Dom, Rhea, or Finn to beat you for that. Rollins then challenged Priest to put his money where his mouth is and leave your crew in the back. Finn got pissed, but Priest said, "Calm down, I accept." Rollins then said, "That's great, but at the end of the day, either way you slice it," because Priest was mocking him for having a short title reign. You're going to have a very short title reign with that World Heavyweight title. Rollins goes, "Hey, look, either way you slice it, my title reign is still longer than his," which is a fact, actually, because Finn Balor unfortunately had to relinquish the Universal Championship legitimately the night after he won it, which fucked up the trajectory of his career on the main roster. Listen, the show was decent and this segment was fine. I don't want to do too much complaining about this shit, but again, I need to ask, why are we doing this match with Damian Priest and Seth Rollins now? Why are we doing this shit now? Couple of things. Number one, Damian Priest and Seth Rollins is a major fucking program. That's a major fucking program that should be headlining a pay-per-view. That could headline Money in the Bank or SummerSlam this year. Especially after the performance that Priest put on back in Puerto Rico against Bad Bunny. Damian Priest proved to everyone that he's a main event talent. He is. Why are you wasting Damian Priest on a random episode of Monday Night Raw? Are you really wasting Priest to get to Rollins and Balor at Money in the Bank? I'm sorry, but that's lame. That's very, very lame. On top of that, Rollins is out here hosting a heavyweight championship open challenge on Raw. Listen, I get it. He wants to be a fighting champion. I appreciate that. I appreciate Rollins being showcased heavily on television and showcasing to everyone why he's one of the best. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, this is nothing groundbreaking. We've seen these open challenges with how many people before Seth Rollins with numerous different championships. Cena did it for the U.S. title. Rollins himself, he did it for the Intercontinental Championship. We're seeing it right now on television. Wardlow did it with the TNT Championship. Orange Cassidy is doing it with the International Championship. We're seeing Wes Lee do that shit right now with the North American Championship on NXT. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. It really isn't. WWE, they always go back to these open challenges. And then number 3, I need to mention this for, again, I think this is the third week in a row that I'm mentioning this. Why are Judgment Day floating around the World Heavyweight Championship title scene when they had nothing to do with Seth Rollins prior to Rollins winning the World Championship? I'm not sure if you realize this, but it was about 3-4 weeks ago where the Judgment Day actually beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who, might I add, are the undisputed tag team champions, and they're feuding with Imperium. Listen, I love Imperium. Imperium's fantastic. And we had a great match with Gunther and Kevin Owens. But at the end of the day, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci are inevitably going to be the team that's going to be challenging Owens and Zayn for the tag team titles, which will probably happen at Money in the Bank, because I don't see the winner of this SmackDown tag team gauntlet match getting the match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank. I don't. But at the end of the day, Imperium is going to have Vinci and Kaiser challenge Kevin Owens and Zayn because you got Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion. It only makes sense that Kaiser and Vinci, they fight for the tag team titles, so now everyone in Imperium is going to have gold. But at the end of the day, Imperium's lost more matches than I can count. They've lost to the Street Profits. They've lost to the Brawling Brutes. They've lost to Braun Strowman and Ricochet. They lost to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn twice within a 3-week period. They don't deserve shit. The amount of victories that they have this year, I can count on one hand. Gunther's been booked like a monster. Vinci and Kaiser have been booked like bums. Why are they getting a tag team title opportunity when you got the Judgment Day who just beat the fucking tag team champions? Balor lost to Seth Rollins in the World Championship tournament, and here he is getting a potential rematch with Rollins for the world title at Money in the Bank. Nothing makes sense. If you were not going to have Judgment Day go after Owens and Zayn after they beat Owens and Zayn, why did you bother giving them the victory over Owens and Zayn 3 weeks ago? No fucking sense. No mention whatsoever of Judgment Day beating Owens and Zayn, and Imperium, they're a bunch of fucking losers, but yet they're going to be fighting for the tag team titles. No logic. No logic. Becky Lynch and Sonya Deville. This was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Pretty decent stuff right here. Sonya Deville looked okay for a couple minutes here. Becky was in control with a nice exploder suplex and a crossbody for a 2. Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark came out midway to watch. Becky with a reverse DDT for a 2. Coming back from commercial, Deville with a superplex from the middle rope. Becky fought back with various forearms, a baseball slide drop kick as well. Chelsea Green took out Lynch, and Deville followed up with a knee. Becky kicked out. Becky then took out Chelsea Green and sent her into the barricade. She then sent Deville into the barricade too. Back in the ring, Deville bounced Becky off the ropes. The ref caught Chelsea Green and ejected her, and Becky Lynch inevitably hit the manhandle slam, and Becky Lynch advances to Money in the Bank. Decent little match. Sonya looked okay. Becky gets to Money in the Bank as expected. I mean, there was no fucking way. There was no fucking way that they were going to have Sonya Deville advance to Money in the Bank over Becky Lynch. I mean, come on. Come on. Owens and Zayn were in the back. Imperium interrupted, and Kevin Owens was clearly a pissed off man. He was clearly a pissed off man, and he was really getting into it. He was losing his cool. He's going, you're breaking the rules again. You're breaking the rules again. You're coming in and we didn't even say your name. You can't be doing that. You can't be breaking the rules like that. So Gunther said Kevin Owens needs to be disciplined. He said Kevin Owens needs to be disciplined. So Owens obviously did not take too kindly to this. And Owens challenged Gunther to a match right now. So he's like, hey, you want to fight? Let's fight right now. So we get Kevin Owens and Gunther, and this was easily the best match on the entire show. Easily the best match on the entire show. Awesome fucking stuff. They put on a pay-per-view worthy match. This was pay-per-view worthy on free television. And you know what? We need more matches like this. If you give us more matches like this, the shows will inevitably be better by the end. So we got Kevin Owens versus Gunther, tag team champion versus intercontinental champion. So we had Gunther. Gunther was in firm control. Gunther was just keeping the pressure on Kevin Owens. Gunther was just dissecting him. Big boots and big slams. Owens would not stay down. Owens mounted a comeback. Gunther shut him down with a chop. Owens came back with a lariat. Owens with a super kick, a second one, and a cannonball in the corner. Owens got a 2. We had a shotgun drop kick by Gunther. Owens turned inside out. Owens was able to kick out. We had Gunther and Owens trading strikes back and forth. Owens with a fisherman buster for a 2. Gunther with an avalanche neck lock suplex. That got a 2. He hit a flying splash, but Owens got the knees up. Owens then with a beautiful swanton bomb, and Gunther kicked out. We had Kaiser and Vinci mixing it up with Sami Zayn on the outside. Owens took Kaiser and gave him a stunner, and then Gunther rolled up Kevin Owens for the win. Owens looked very, very strong in defeat, and Gunther continues his reign of dominance, even in a non-title match. Even in non-title matches, Gunther manages to make everyone look that much better. Gunther's Intercontinental Championship reign will be remembered as one of the best reigns of the modern era. Hands down. Fucking great match. Great match. Matt Riddle was in the back. Imperium actually got in his face. Matt Riddle was actually pissed off that Vinci and Kaiser decided to get in his face. He actually threw Ludwig Kaiser over a crate. He locked in an ankle lock on Vinci. He had this look of rage on his face, screaming, "Where's Gunther? Where's Gunther?" So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, where was this Matt Riddle? I'm not sure who's booking Matt Riddle ever since he came back, but I like serious Matt Riddle. I like serious Matt. We need more serious Matt Riddle. More serious Matt Riddle is good. We have not heard one marijuana joke. We have not heard one single fucking crack of a laugh from Matt Riddle. No corny shit. It's been all business, Matt Riddle. I like that. Keep that going. Keep that shit going. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. This actually was not bad. At all. And apparently, I think Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, actually reported that Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, they actually impressed a couple of people backstage in this showcase match. Now, Ronda and Shayna, they won the tag team titles last week. And it really didn't do anything for the division. Shayna Baszler, she should really be on her own, and Ronda Rousey just fucking sucks. But they haven't had bad matches as a tag team. Ironically enough, the match quality that we've been getting with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey hasn't been bad. It really hasn't been bad at all. So, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, we had Carter super kicking Ronda while she was upside down. So, Ronda was taking some bumps in this match. Carter with a dive onto Baszler. Katana then with a twisting plancha onto Rousey. Chance was isolated. And Rousey and Baszler were just dissecting her. I love me some Katana Chance. Katana Chance is great. So we had a roll through super kick with Caden Carter. Caden Carter then with a nice running big boot and a heat seeker for a 2 on Baszler. Chance and Carter then with a neck breaker 450 combo on Rousey. So Rousey, again, taking some bumps. Baszler saved it. Carter then with a drop kick to Baszler. Crossbody on Rousey. Rousey kicked out. Rousey then with an ankle lock on Katana. Katana got out. Tagged to Baszler. Tagged to Carter. Carter nearly rolled her up. We had a Saito suplex by Baszler on Carter. And then a Karafuda clutch. Shayna Baszler wins the match for her team. And this was actually not a bad match whatsoever. This was not bad at all. We got some decent in-ring action between both of these teams. And I really do want to hope that Caden Carter and Katana Chance will be in line for a potential future tag team title opportunity and a potential win. They're already doing the unification match. Based on what happened on SmackDown, we got the unification match coming between Isla Dawn and Alba Fire versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. So we'll see what happens there. Ricochet and Nakamura. This went about 10 minutes, and it ended in a DQ because of Bronson Reed's interference. I actually do not mind this whatsoever. Not sure what this means, but this got some heat on Bronson Reed, and I'd like to hope that we will be seeing Bronson Reed on television a little bit more often. I think a feud with him and Nakamura and a feud with him and Ricochet, maybe a triple threat match, I think that would be awesome. That'd be great. So Ricochet was in early control. We had a nice Fosbury flop over the top rope. Coming back from commercial, Ricochet with a nice handspring back elbow. Enziguri in a springboard clothesline. Standing shooting star by Ricochet. Nakamura kicked out. Nakamura then with a spin kick and a sliding German suplex. He got the reverse exploder, and then he went for the Kinshasa, but Ricochet caught him with a V-trigger and a recoil. Ricochet and Nakamura were up on the top rope, and they traded forearms. All of a sudden, Bronson Reed came in, just bulldozed Nakamura, caused the DQ, and we had a match with Ricochet and Nakamura end via a Bronson Reed interference. We had a double-stacked splash, a running body block, and then he delivered the tsunami splash on Ricochet, which looked fucking great. Again, I don't know what this means, but I'd like to hope that Bronson Reed is going to be somewhat of a priority, because a match with Bronson Reed and Gunther down the line is definitely something that I would want to see. Matter of fact, I'd have Bronson Reed take the title off of Gunther. Miz TV with Cody Rhodes. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I haven't really minded The Miz all that much. Miz really hasn't been all too bad these last couple weeks. So Miz brought out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was asked about his challenge to Brock Lesnar. Miz pointed out how it's kind of stupid. I actually agree with The Miz. I'll tell you what else is stupid. The fact that we haven't gotten any explanation, and we're going on 2 fucking months without an explanation. 2 months. So Cody said how some people called it crazy and it took balls. You know a tiny little bit about that, wouldn't you? Brock is apparently in hibernation, so I guess we will have to wait and see. We won't be seeing him for a while. Miz then invited 2 surprise guests. He invited Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. Dom was heavily booed. The crowd was chanting, "You suck." Rhea said Dom has something he would like to say. Crowd just rained down boos on him. He couldn't even speak. Dom called Cody a little birdie with a broken wing, and you're a bad father. You have a baby son at home, right? You have a baby son, right? You should be there taking care of him, but instead you're here. You're just like Ray, a deadbeat dad. Cody then said, you know, you got a worse prison tattoo than mine. Let me tell you something. You had a match with your father at WrestleMania, but it was more like a public spanking. I know that Rey Mysterio has made some terrible mistakes, and I'm looking at one of them. So that was a nice little burn by Cody right there. Dom then slapped Cody and hid behind Rhea Ripley. And then Cody watched as they left. And then The Miz caught a shot with the titanium cast right across the head. Listen, Dom and Rhea, they're great fucking heels, but I mean, what exactly did this do? The only thing that it did, the only thing that was genuinely intriguing that came out of this is the fact that The Miz is now getting a match with Cody next week. I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. The Miz, right now, The Miz is more intriguing than Cody Rhodes. Fact. And the only reason why is because I'm actually interested in seeing what The Miz does in the ring. Miz has been breaking out some new shit in the ring. I'm not even bullshitting you. The Miz, in recent weeks, has looked great in the ring. He's pulling out new moves every fucking match. He's doing springboard cross bodies. He's doing flying Hurricane Ranas. He's doing code breakers, rolling through into snap DDTs. Miz has been fucking great these last couple weeks. I'm not sure what it's leading to, but I hope he keeps on doing it. That alone has made him more intriguing than Cody Rhodes. This feud with Brock Lesnar has been a complete shit show right from the word go. This shit needs to end, and it needs to end now. Zoe Stark versus Natalya Money in the Bank qualifying match. 3-minute match. You know what I find funny? They want us to care about women's wrestling in WWE, but yet, they are giving us 3-minute women's wrestling matches. I'm sorry, but the fans are not going to care if you yourselves don't care, WWE. I think that you should take that into consideration. Zoe Stark wins with the Z360 as expected. Goodbye, Natalya. We will see you in about 7 months when they need someone else to have a job done for. We will see you in about 7 months when you are brought out of your annual hibernation to get a title match only to get buried. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match is not looking too bad. I will say that. It's not looking too bad. Paul Heyman was in the back. We got, again, yet another week. SmackDown Superstar on Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman was in the back, and he invited everyone to see Jey Uso make his historic decision this Friday on SmackDown. He will choose and stand by his brother Solo. Jimmy Uso will acknowledge your tribal chief. Indus Sher, this is Veer and Sangha. They absolutely got demolished by Cedric Alexander. Indus Sher demolished. They didn't get demolished. They demolished Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. And that was pretty much that. And I'll give you one guess where Cedric and Shelton are headed when we get to July 1st, which is reportedly the rumored date where we are getting budget cuts. We are going to see Cedric and Shelton on the unemployment line sooner rather than later. Match didn't even happen. They just destroyed Cedric and Shelton, and that was it. Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest World Heavyweight Championship. We got a very good main event between Rollins and Priest. They brought it, and we got a lot of time. They were given 20 minutes. 20 minutes in the main event, and I'm very, very happy that they were. So Rollins and Priest, they matched up pretty evenly. Coming back from commercial, Rollins launched off the barricade. Priest with a right hand. Priest was in control. Rollins then with an enziguri and a flurry of strikes. We had a kick to the shoulder and a discus lariat by Rollins. Roundhouse kick by Priest and a body splash in the corner. Rollins with a sling blade. Priest caught Rollins mid-suicide dive and gave him an elevated flatliner on the announce table. Coming back from the second commercial, actually, Rollins then with a suplex, and he deadlifted Damian Priest. It looked fucking awesome. A deadlift Falcon Arrow. Deadlift Falcon Arrow. Fucking awesome. Awesome stuff. Priest kicked out. Priest was then hit with 3 suicide dives. The third one sent him over the announce table. Rollins got him back in the ring. Priest caught a super kick and a beautiful frog splash. Priest kicked out. Nice forearm and a rolling elbow by Rollins. Priest then with a headlock driver for a 2. Priest with a tornado kick and a hurricane rana from the middle rope for a 2. Rollins then with a pedigree. Priest still kicked out. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Rollins then with a power bomb into the barricade. Balor then came out. Rollins super kicked Balor. Priest with a lariat, turning Rollins inside out. He delivered the South of Heaven, but Rollins was able to kick out of South of Heaven. Priest then looked at Balor and asked, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" He was not happy that Balor came out to help Damian Priest. So Damian Priest, after he was talking to Balor for a split second, he turned around, he got super kicked by Rollins, and then Rollins hit the stomp, stomping his head into the mat, and Priest, he did not kick out. Priest did not kick out. Rollins won the match with the stomp. A very good match. One thing I will say this, it didn't really make any sense, but Damian Priest, he was put into a test here with Seth Rollins. He passed the test with flying colors. I really do hope that they're not kicking him out of Judgment Day because they're better together than they are separately. But there's some tensions brewing. There's some tensions brewing for sure. Balor then came in. He stood face to face with Rollins, and that's how they ended the show. So it looks like we're getting Rollins and we are getting Balor at Money in the Bank. And if my calculations are correct, with what we're getting at Money in the Bank, we got the ladder match for the men. We got the ladder match for the women. We're going to get Rollins and Balor. We're going to get Owens and Zayn versus Imperium. Potentially Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Potentially Matt Riddle and Gunther for the IC title. Money in the Bank, if they want it to, it could very well be the best premium live event of the year. It could very well be the best premium live event of the year. No joke. No joke. But Monday Night Raw, pretty decent stuff. Pretty decent stuff. Can't really complain too much about it. Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland, they kicked off Dynamite. Dynamite was a very good show this week. Great show this week. Actually, I thought it was better than last week. And last week's was a great show too. Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland, they kicked off the show for the AEW International Championship, and we got ourselves one hell of a fucking match. Absolutely fucking excellent. These two went out there, and matter of fact, this match should have been on Double or Nothing. This match should have easily been on Double or Nothing. No fucking exceptions. Listen, the Battle Royal was very good, but at the end of the day, I would have taken this match on Double or Nothing. This match was fucking great. You know, I've seen some people going around Twitter complaining that Orange Cassidy is always the one opening Dynamite. This is legit what people complain about. People on Twitter are legit complaining that Orange Cassidy is the guy that's always opening Dynamite. Have you been watching the matches that he's been putting on? You're legit complaining about a man who has held the championship for over 230 days and he's literally fucking AEW's version of Sheamus, putting on banger after banger after banger after banger on a weekly fucking basis for the International Championship, and you're complaining that he's always opening the show when he's giving you matches like this? That's what you're doing. You're complaining that Orange Cassidy is always opening Dynamite when he's putting matches like this on. I legitimately don't even know. I am legitimately losing my fucking brain cells looking at some people on social media complaining about, oh, this guy always opens up the show. Why don't you complain that WWE always opens up their shows with a fucking promo instead of a fucking wrestling match? Holy fuck. This was pay-per-view worthy. Pay-per-view worthy, and hell, I would have put this on Double or Nothing. So, Cassidy was sent into the barricade. Swerve whipped Cassidy's hand against the post. So, Cassidy's hand became the target of this match. Cassidy regained control with a beautiful tope. Swerve was then sent into the barricade. Back in the ring, Cassidy with a crossbody. Cassidy and Swerve were on the second rope. Both men hit the buckle coming down. Coming back from commercial, Cassidy with a super kick and a stun dog millionaire, rolling flatliner by Swerve. Both men were down. Cassidy with a beautiful satellite DDT, which is my favorite version of the DDT. That got a 2. Swerve answered back with a Death Valley driver on the apron. Cassidy was still on the apron. Cassidy with a super kick and a diving DDT off the apron to the floor. I thought Swerve was legit knocked the fuck out. Back in the ring, Cassidy with a pop-up Hurricane Rana. Swerve kicked out. Prince Nana tried to get involved, and he was accidentally hit by Swerve. Cassidy with the orange punch and the beach break, and Swerve kicked out. So I was thinking to myself, all right, Swerve's got to win this now. Swerve caught Orange Cassidy. Fucking unreal here. He caught Orange Cassidy mid-suicide dive and delivered a brainbuster to him on the floor. Swerve, then he missed with the house call, but he got it on the rebound. He got it on the second time, and after the house call, Swerve hit the Swerve Stomp. He hit the Swerve Stomp. I thought we were going to get a new champion. Orange Cassidy kicked out. The motherfucker just will not lose. Motherfucker refuses to lose. Swerve then rolled up Cassidy with the tights. Cassidy answered right back to Swerve with his own roll-up with the tights, and Cassidy retained the championship in what was a pay-per-view worthy match. Now, I would have liked Swerve to win just because I like Swerve, even though I've been calling Miro to beat Cassidy, but I cannot shit on this whatsoever. I really can't shit on it whatsoever. If this is the type of material that Cassidy has been putting on, I can't really sit here and say, I don't want to see him win. I can't really sit here and say, yeah, I'm sick of Orange Cassidy as champion. I can't really say that I am. I really can't say that I am. I would not mind if Orange Cassidy reaches 1 year with the championship. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, the more times that Cassidy defends the championship, the more times that Cassidy defends that title, the more prestige that it gets. The longer Cassidy holds the title, the more prestige it has and the more coveted it becomes. Because Cassidy, he is only the second international champion. That title is 1 year old. That title is 1 year old at Forbidden Door. And Cassidy is only the second ever champion. He's only the second ever champion. So at the end of the day, I can't really sit here and shit on Orange Cassidy retaining the championship again, because at the end of the day, he's just that damn fucking good. Matter of fact, I'm throwing it out there. When Cassidy loses the championship, he should absolutely be a challenger for MJF. I don't see him winning the title, but he should absolutely be a challenger for MJF. Hands down, absolutely. Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson came out to address the crowd. They replayed Bryan's challenge video to Kazuchika Okada, which will take place at the end of the month at Forbidden Door. And holy shit, Forbidden Door. The two matches that they got Omega and Ospreay, and they got Okada and Bryan. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. That is going to be one hell of a fucking match. And by the way, it's sold out. Forbidden Door sold out. We have the Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos. And we got a very fun trios match right here. Chaos went right on the attack. And Beretta, with a superplex to Wheeler Yuta, tagged to Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor wasted no time. And he's like, fuck this shit. He hit a spike pile driver, a stuffed pile driver on Yuta right out of the gate. Claudio saved it. Rocky Romero, who I actually really enjoy watching. Really enjoy watching Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero with a flying knee off the apron, taking out Moxley. Chaos was in control. Moxley then came in with a cutter, and we had a heart attack by Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. Coming back from commercial, we had a rebound German by Yuta, tagged to Beretta. He came in with a spear, backdrop driver, punches and chops. We had a tag to Rocky. We had a big crossbody Hurricane Rana on Yuta, Hurricane Rana on Claudio, diving drop kick across Moxley's back, and a running knee by Beretta. Moxley kicked out. We had strong 0 on Moxley, but Claudio saved it. Claudio was sent to the floor. We had a cross arm breaker by Rocky. Beretta went for a moonsault. This was fucking great. Beretta with a moonsault in midair, and as he was coming down, Claudio with a fucking uppercut mid-moonsault absolutely looked fucking brutal. Rocky was caught in a rear naked choke, and he passed out, and the Blackpool Combat Club get the win over Chaos. And what I'm going to throw out to you right now, it may piss you off. I really don't give a shit. Blackpool Combat Club is the best faction in all of wrestling today. Do not fucking argue with me. Blackpool Combat Club, the best faction in professional wrestling right now. And my God, I cannot fucking wait until we get this feud between the House of Black and the Blackpool Combat Club for the trios titles. That's going to be one hell of a fucking program. We had Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks challenge the Blackpool Combat Club for next week. It is a 6-man tag, and it was accepted. Good shit. You know what? I'm going to throw this out there. We got Death Before Dishonor coming up. I would not mind if we see Hangman Page challenge Claudio for the Ring of Honor World Championship. With the matches that Hangman Page was putting on with the AEW World title, I would not mind him I would not mind him. I can't even fucking speak today. I would not mind seeing him fight Claudio. at Death Before Dishonor. I mean, look at the fucking match that he had with Adam Cole. Look at the fucking matches that he had with Omega. Look at the fucking matches he had with Bryan. He went fucking 60 minutes with Bryan. So at the end of the day, if you're going to give me Hangman and Claudio at Death Before Dishonor, I would say that should put some asses in seats. That's going to put some asses in seats, and that's going to be one hell of a fucking match. I don't see Hangman winning. Matter of fact, I think Kingston is inevitably going to be the guy to take the title off of Claudio. But I mean, if you want a big match for Death Before Dishonor, and it makes sense because you're continuing the feud between Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, it would kind of make sense to do Hangman and Claudio. And on top of that, there is an underlying story there. If you guys are paying attention, Hangman Page has beaten every member of the Blackpool Combat Club except for Claudio. He's beaten Yuta, he's beaten Moxley, he's beaten Bryan. He has not beaten Claudio. That could be a basis of the feud right there. I don't know. That's just me throwing it out there. I would love to see it. And I mean, Claudio and Hangman, and a victory over Hangman Page for Claudio as world champion, that would be fucking big for him. Plus, Hangman Page could take a loss. He's already a made man. We had a promo package for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Cannot fucking wait for that shit. MJF, he came out to address the crowd. He was smiling, and he said, "When the champ's holding a mic, you drug addicts keep your mouth shut." I love MJF. Fuck Colorado. Except for my friend Jess. She's cool. He said that Colorado sucks. I agree. It's a boring place. There is no competition for me in this company. No one is on the level of the devil. All of a sudden, Adam Cole comes out. Big crowd pop. Adam Cole went for the Adam Cole Bebe, but MJF cut the music off. He goes, "I'm excited. Finally, some worthy competition." I'm going to be quite honest. I'm a big fan, man. I am a big fan, man. When CM Punk left me when I was a kid, I came across a television show called Ring of Honor. I thought Ring of Honor sucked. But just as I was about to change the channel, I saw this guy with jet black hair, nice tan, perfect on the mic. It was you, Adam Cole. I got as much of your tape as possible when I was studying wrestling. You became the hottest free agent in the world. You shocked the system. That, my friend, is undisputed. I followed your footsteps, and when I signed here with AEW, I knew that you would jump ship sooner rather than later. And then when you finally showed up, I was ready to have the feud of a fucking lifetime. And then this guy walked in the door, said MJF. What happened to you, man? What happened to you? You used to be the Panama City Playboy. Now you're just the Panama Game Boy. You look like a virgin Gollum. And Baker leaves the house with your balls firmly in her purse. You're so frail that you make crack whores jealous, said MJF. This was fucking great right here. This company has done everything to make you feel cool. You got the cool music. You got the Adam Cole Bay. You got the girl. You got the theme music. You got the entrance. You know what they do to make MJF cool? They ring the freaking bell. They ring the freaking bell. Unbelievable. Throwback to his feud with Karrion Kross. I have beaten every guy. What makes you think you're going to fare any differently? I read a rumor that a certain individual didn't think you had top guy potential. That individual's name was Vince McMahon. Gotta love MJF, man. He knows how to get heat. So, the crowd started chanting, fuck that guy. MJF said, I think Vince was right. So Colton took the mic and he said, really? That's the best you got? You're coming off like a toxic social media troll. What exactly is your obsession with other people's relationships? I realize that your fiance left you and you can't hold down a decent relationship to save your life, but I figured it out. You say you're world class. No, you're just a world class douchebag. He goes, you know why you bring up my body? It's because of my body of work. You cannot touch me. And you feel like you're so obsessed with my body. How about we go back there, piss in a couple of cups, and we'll find out who's natural and who's not. So it looks like Adam Cole is calling out MJF for being like a starburst, and he's unexplainably juicy, if you know what I mean. He goes, I've traveled the globe and they respect me, the human being, Adam Cole. And I'm telling you, man, I swear nobody respects you because you're lazy. I speak for everyone here. No one respects you. MJF goes, that's a lot of tough talk coming from Keith Lee's manager. Colton said, that's big talk coming from a coward who refuses to fight. Just remember this. You won't fight me because I'm better than you, and they know it. So MJF at this point got pissed, and he said, I will wrestle you any day of the week, and I will beat your ass. Colton said, that's the kind of energy I want, champ. Looks like we got ourselves a match. Now, first off, this program was fucking awesome. Tire segment, fucking awesome. This I'm telling you, man, a lot of people were concerned that they were going to run out of competition for MJF. Adam Cole, man, this program throughout the summer is going to be one hell of a feud with MJF and Adam Cole. I want some more shit. I'm telling you. This is some really, really, really solid material. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. Now, I don't know why they're booking this match next week. I don't know why the fuck that they're booking this match next week. Matter of fact, I think that it's kind of stupid that they're booking it next week. But if it is being booked for next week, could we potentially see Jericho get involved? Could we potentially see a double countout? Could we potentially see a double DQ? Do we see this end in a time limit draw? It's an eliminator match. Do we see this end in a time limit draw? I would not mind seeing it end in a time limit draw. I think that would be very, very nice because it would keep the feud going and Adam Cole would be fighting an uphill battle. Hey, I didn't beat MJF, but you didn't beat me either. And MJF would kind of be playing possum. Hey, you didn't beat me. I don't give a shit it went the time limit draw. You still don't get a world title shot. You can't touch me. So I think a time limit draw would probably be the best scenario going into next week. Jungle Hook. Jungle Hook versus La Facción Ingobernables. This was a Texas Tornado match. And La Facción Ingobernables, they got the jump on Jungle Hook. They attacked him right out of the gate. And this only went 8 minutes. But for the 8 minutes that it went, this was fucking nuts. 8 minutes, and this was more extreme. This was more extreme than the last 18, or not 18. I don't know why I said 18. This was more extreme than the last 10 Extreme Rules pay-per-views. Not even bullshitting you. So, Dralistico and Preston Vance, they got the jump right out of the gate. Dralistico used an extension cord on Jack Perry. Meanwhile, Hook, he brawled with Preston Vance in the crowd. Chaos right from the jump. Coming back from commercial, Dralistico with a double stomp to Perry on the apron. We had some tables set up on the outside. Hook took a chain, wrapped it around his hand, and delivered a flying punch to Maxwell Jacob. I'm still on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I see Hula Grim's comment in the comment section saying Maxwell Juicy Friedman, and I'm trying to talk about Preston Vance, and then I see his comment, and I say Maxwell Jacob Friedman. But Hook took the chain, delivered a flying punch right in the fucking face to Preston Vance, and Preston Vance was bleeding like a stuck pig. Absolutely fucking vicious. So, Dralistico then sent Hook into the barricade. Perry hit Preston Vance with a steel chair in the head, and Hook delivered a T-bone suplex off the apron through the tables to Preston Vance. Fucking great. Jose, the assistant, then got involved. He got his ass kicked. He got locked in the red rum by Hook, and then Jack Perry with a snare trap, and Dralistico ended up tapping out to the snare trap. I like me some Jungle Hook, man. They actually work very, very well together. And if there's anyone that could be considered a fifth pillar, I think that Hook could very well be looked at as a unofficial fifth pillar. He's awesome at what he does. So, Jungle Hook get the win in a match that was short, but it was a crazy-ass fucking match, and it was extremely enjoyable. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Jungle Hook going on into the future, but I would not mind seeing Jungle Hook challenge FTR for the tag team titles. I think that would be a very, very, very nice interim program for both FTR and Hook and Jungle Boy. Just throwing it out there. Tony Khan announced that the first ever AEW Collision main event will be Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe taking on FTR and CM Punk. And it looks like this could be the match where we will get CM Punk's first official feud start up, whether it's Samoa Joe or whether it's Jay White. We will have to find out, but that is one hell of a main event. That is one hell of a main event for the first ever AEW Collision, and I'm looking forward to it. Konosuke Takeshita, he was in action. He took on this guy named Damon Ace. Takeshita had no theme music. It was just booze. It reminded me of classic Tommaso Ciampa. And they replayed the video on the Titantron where Don Callis busted Kenny Omega in the head. Takeshita won very, very swiftly. Callis then had the mic, and the crowd just rained down booze on him. Callis said that he's going to tell the truth about Omega. Everything that he is because of me. Everything that the Elite has is because of me. Kenny was like a cancer in my body, and what do you do with a cancer? You cut it out. We will cut the Elite out for good. Major heat, man. Major heat, and I am loving it. Blood and Guts is going to be great. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus were in the back, and they beat the shit out of Brock Anderson. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Luchasaurus and Christian Cage, they came out of Christian Cage's locker room, and in the back, you see Brock Anderson fucking rolling around in pain. Gotta love Christian and Luchasaurus, man. Gotta love them. Anna Jay took on Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship. This was not terrible. Anna Jay really hasn't been all too impressive, but this match with Chris Statlander, it was not bad at all. I think that Chris Statlander is really morphing herself into quite the solid in-ring leader. If it was anyone else but Chris Statlander, Anna Jay would have fucking flopped here. But Anna Jay tried to play a little cat and mouse. Chris Statlander tripped her up on the apron. Jay then took over quickly. Coming back from commercial, we had Statlander coming back with a nice knee and a power slam. Daddy Magic caused a distraction. Jay with a gory bomb, but Statlander kicked out. Statlander with a discus lariat. Daddy Magic got involved again. Jay with the Queen Slayer. Chris Statlander got out of it. A lariat backbreaker, and then the Tombstone pile driver for the win by Chris Statlander. And Statlander retains as Taya Valkyrie is watching on. So it looks like we could be getting Taya Valkyrie versus Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship, which I would not mind at all. I think that would be a very good match if you give those women the time. Main event. Ricky Starks, absolute Ricky Starks versus Switchblade Jay White. This was the main event with FTR and Juice Robinson banned from ringside. Starks went right on the attack. Starks with a back body drop. White tried to run away. They fought on the stage. White was caught with a suplex on the floor. Coming back commercial, Starks tried to mount the comeback. Jay White stopped that in his tracks. White with a superplex for a 2. Starks then came in with a high lariat and a nice tornado DDT for a 2. Starks then with a Uranagi. That got a 2. White with a Uranagi. That got a 2. Counter for counter between Starks and White. Ricky Starks with a spear. He went for the Rochambeau, but he accidentally took out Paul Turner as well. Paul Turner, the referee, got hit with the Rochambeau. Referee was down. All of a sudden, the Gun Club came up from behind Ricky Starks and delivered the flapjack flatliner combination. Jay White covered Starks and then hit the Blade Runner for the win. And Jay White wins a very good match, and it looks like we got 2 new members added to Bullet Club Gold. So if we got Jay White, we got Juice Robinson, we got the Gun Club, and then you want to add El Phantasmo, that's a pretty damn good fucking faction that Jay White's leading right there. And I'm very much enjoying what Jay White is doing on AEW television. Keep that shit up. Keep that shit up. Jay White, man, if this is what we're going to get with the program with Punk, and we got Punk and FTR taking on Bullet Club Gold, with FTR defending the titles against Bullet Club Gold, with CM Punk and Jay White being the centerpiece of that feud, that's going to be one hell of a fucking program. It really is. But this was a great episode of Dynamite. Better than last week, and last week's show was very good too, but great episode of Dynamite, and AEW Dynamite is building quite nicely towards Forbidden Door. I don't know what other matches they're going to put on Forbidden Door, but I would probably say it's safe that we could potentially see Sananda. We could potentially see Sananda on there, who is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not really sure who else we're going to see. Jay White's definitely going to be on there. Jay White's going to have to be on there. I don't know. Who else from New Japan? Shota Umino? Shota Umino, maybe? Minoru Suzuki? I don't know. It's a toss-up. Maybe the Guerrillas of Destiny? The Guerrillas of Destiny? Bishamon? We could see them in tag team action. A lot of shit. A lot of shit that we could end up seeing, but I'm looking forward to it. We have a lot of good material on AEW side of the fence right now. I only wish that Rampage was as good as Dynamite was. SmackDown. I don't want to say it was a bad show. I really don't want to say it was a bad show. It wasn't jack shit horrible, but I mean, if you were to ask me what show this week was skippable, I would probably say SmackDown and Rampage too. SmackDown and Rampage were both very, very skippable. So the show started off with Heyman and Solo in the ring. Jey Uso interrupted and he goes, I got a lot of things that I let slide. There was a lot of things in the past that I let slide, but stabbing our big brother in the back is something you don't do, Solo. I don't know if I can forgive you, so you better say what you need to say, OG. Heyman then said, you got it all wrong. This is all Jimmy's fault because Jimmy made up his mind for you. When Jimmy kicked the tribal chief, did he talk to you in advance? No, because he's your older brother. Jimmy is, in fact, in on the little tidbit of information going around. He is in on the fact that the tribal chief wants to groom you to be the next tribal chief. That is your destiny, and Jimmy Uso has resented you ever since. I have arranged a match. Tonight, you bring gold back to the bloodline. There is no more tag team known as the Usos. You will bring home gold. Jey Uso, you will defeat Austin Theory for the United States Championship. And one day, you will become the tribal chief. But I need your answer now. Jey goes, I'll take you up on that U.S. challenge, though. Heyman then stretched out his hand, and Jey said, I'll get back to you on that. So they're trying to keep it interesting. So now Heyman is trying to coerce Jey Uso, rather, to side against his own brother Jimmy, because Roman apparently wants to groom Jey to be the tribal chief when Roman Reigns is no longer here. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting strategy, I will say that. Santos Escobar. He took on Mustafa Ali in a Money in the Bank qualifying match, and we had ourselves LA Knight, on commentary. We need more LA Knight on commentary. That's all I'm going to say. Escobar and Ali, we had a very good match for what it was, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this was probably the best, and I mean the best, qualifying match that we've seen over the course of the last couple weeks as far as Money in the Bank relates. Probably the best Money in the Bank qualifying match we've seen thus far. Great stuff here from these two. So, Escobar, he delivered a brutal-looking Hurricane Rana off the steps to Ali. We had a cover in the ring. That got a 2. Escobar with a huge suicide dive onto Ali. And a big cross body. Coming back from commercial, Ali caught Escobar with a drop kick on the floor. Coming back off the top rope, he delivered a 450, but he missed. We had Ali going face first into the turnbuckle. Escobar with a poison Rana, but Ali kicked out. Ali then with a tornado DDT on Escobar. Escobar kicked out. Escobar ended the match delivering a phantom driver off the top for the win, and he is going to Money in the Bank. And man, they are really building up Money in the Bank to be one hell of a fucking match. Look at the participants. We got LA Knight, we got Shinsuke Nakamura, we got Ricochet, we got Santos Escobar, and Bush also advanced. That is one hell of a fucking field. And above all else, these are all people that have never won Money in the Bank before. So we're guaranteed a new winner. I like that. I really, really like that. Sami Zayn, he stopped by SmackDown. There you go. Raw Superstar appearing on SmackDown. Sami stopped by SmackDown to talk to Jey, and he told Jey, listen to your heart, not what's being put in your ear. So Sami Zayn, he's still hanging around the bloodline. Not really sure where it's going to go, but we'll have to wait and see. Kayla Braxton, she introduced Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and before they could even get any words out, it was Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler who interrupted them. Shayna then mocked them for wanting to call themselves the Women's Tag Team Champions. Shayna then said she was the reason those titles were even created. They should be hers. Ronda then said this division isn't big enough for the two of them. Alba Fire was challenged. They were both challenged for a unification match, and Alba Fire accepted. We get a little bit of a brawl, and Isla Dawn kicked Baszler in the head. Fire and Dawn ended up standing tall in the end, and I was thinking to myself, finally, some logic. Took them long enough to finally give us some fucking logic when it comes to the women's tag team title picture. Get a nice little golf clap for that one, WWE. Finally, I would actually give it to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Now, ultimately, the women's tag team titles don't mean anything, but I'd give them to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in the end. I would. Bayley versus Mia Yim. 3-minute matches. Again, they want us to care. They want us to care about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, but yet here we are, and we have 3-minute matches. This match with 3 minutes. Bayley won with the Rose Plant, and then afterwards, Scarlett came out, blew mist into Styles' eyes, and Karrion Kross came in with the cross jacket on Styles, and Karrion Kross and Scarlett left victors. Even though they weren't actually competing in the match, they will be competing in the match next week, because we're going to get Scarlett and Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles and Michin. Asuka, she came out for her championship ceremony presented by Adam Pearce. Asuka came out and she was given the new undisputed women's championship, and it looked the exact same to Roman Reigns and his new championship. Absolutely fucking lazy. Lazy as shit. Completely and utterly garbage. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable how fucking lazy this company is. Unbelievable how lazy this company is. And that wasn't the end of it. That wasn't the end of it. That wasn't the end of it by a long shot. You want to know how lazy this company is? They give Asuka a carbon copy of Roman Reigns' championship, only this time the strap is white and it's not black. All of a sudden, Charlotte Flair came out. Charlotte Flair came out, who hasn't been seen since WrestleMania. Adam Pearce then asked what she was doing. Adam Pearce said, listen, you need to get in line. Charlotte then said, now this I found fucking hilarious, and not for the right reasons. Charlotte said, I don't wait in line. I made the line. I made the line. So I hope that everyone is aware of the fact. I hope that everyone's aware of the fact that Charlotte pretty much told you, without actually telling you, that she is a selfish, backstage politicking, manipulative piece of shit. I hope that you know that. I really hope that you know that. She is undoubtedly, I think she may be even worse than the Fabulous Moolah. I'm not even Earl asked me that question years ago. Is Charlotte as bad as the Fabulous Moolah? Let me tell you something, Earl. If you're watching right now, I think I may be leaning towards yes. I think I may be leaning towards yes. She is absolutely fucking horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Charlotte Flair comes back, and in 3 weeks, hey, let's give her a championship match. Let's give her a championship match on June 30th, right before Money in the Bank. Who cares? Let's give her a title match. Kill me now. Give me the bleach. Give me the shotgun. Give me the noose. Give me a brick so I can fucking crack my skull with it. Charlotte goes, no one respects you more than me. If you respected her, I think you would have put her over at WrestleMania 34, bitch. No one respects you more than me. If you respected her, you would have advocated for her to go over at WrestleMania 34. But you didn't, did you? No one respects you more than me, but I want that championship. Asuka accepted, and we get a brawl with Charlotte standing tall. Asuka is given a championship, a shitty-looking title that looks identical to Roman Reigns' shitty-looking title, only to be interrupted by Charlotte, and Charlotte be granted a title match in 3 weeks. Why? Because she's Charlotte Flair. WWE, then, now, and forever, a lazy company. That should be their new phrase. WWE, then, now, and forever, a lazy company. And people wonder why I complain. People wonder. People want me to sit here and defend this garbage. People want me to sit here and praise this shit left and right when you got Charlotte Flair, who hasn't been seen on television in not 6 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and she comes back and boom, championship match. Hey, Andrade, El Idolo, Poppy, I don't know if you're listening to me. I'm going to need you to do me a favor. Can you fucking knock her up already? Can you fucking knock her up already? Please, knock her up, get her pregnant so we don't have to see her on television for a year and a half. I will personally pay you. Please, give me a call, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. We can discuss prices, and I will pay you money to knock that bitch up so that way she's pregnant and she will not be on television for X amount of months. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you, El Idolo. Holy fuck. Butch and Baron Corbin. I swear to God, man. I'm still fucking on Charlotte. I'm still on Charlotte Flair. I'm telling you guys, if anyone genuinely believes that that woman is one of the greatest of all time, you have to be the most retarded individual. I don't care. I'll walk up to you face to face and call you a fucking retard. I don't give a shit. I don't. Unfucking believable. If that woman is even on your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling, you need to have your fucking head examined. I cannot wait for the day that that bitch retires. And yes, it is fuck Charlotte Flair all day, every day. Butch and Baron Corbin, Money in the Bank qualifying match. So get this, Nick Khan wants NXT to be looked at as a third brand. Meanwhile, you had that in your grasp with Black and Gold NXT, and then you decided to kill it because you didn't create it, rebuild it in your image, and now you want to look at it as a third fucking brand. Unbelievable. So we had Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes in attendance. Corbin trashed Mello and Williams. Corbin then lost in 3 minutes with a sloppy-looking roll-up. Listen, I'm glad that Butch... I am glad. What did they say? Hologram says someone in JD's stream last night said that Charlotte is better in the ring than Mercedes. Holy shit. Holy shit. I honestly believe that these people, how many of these fucking people were dropped on their head when they were children? How many of these fucking people? I really have to be subjected to fucking retardation like that? I'm glad. There's a part of me, listen, I want to be more popular than I am, but there's a part of me that I only have about 8 to 12 people in my streams every Saturday because I like the intimacy. I like the toned down nature. I really do. I don't think I could deal with fucking 2,000 people in my chat saying that Charlotte is a better wrestler than Mercedes. But Baron Corbin, listen, I'm glad that Butch is in the ladder match. That's great for Butch. And Pete Dunne's going to look great in there. But I mean, holy fuck. What are we doing with Baron Corbin here? What are we doing with Baron Corbin? Really, what are we doing? Baron Corbin is literally coming out in shorts and a muscle tee, looking like he's ready for a fucking basketball game. He's looking like he's ready for a basketball game. He's coming out. He's in a program with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. He's going to be fighting for the NXT Championship sooner rather than later. And he's out here losing to Butch in 3 minutes. No matter how good Butch is, what are we doing with Baron Corbin? What are we doing with him? If you want to have a career resurgence for Baron Corbin, why are we not booking him and portraying him like he needs to be portrayed? Let me ask you a question. Why is it so hard to give us the lone wolf gimmick? Ever since Baron Corbin got rid of the lone wolf gimmick, ever since Baron Corbin was changed from lone wolf to Constable Corbin, he has been one of the worst acts in the entire fucking industry. He's not even a good heel. He's not even a good heel. Give us the lone wolf back now. Give it back to us now. This shit needs to change. It is lone wolf or bust. Because that shit worked. You have no idea how happy I was when Corbin won the United States Championship when he was the lone wolf. I was very fucking happy for him. And what did you fucking do to him? What'd you fucking do? Shaved his head, became the constable. He's been one of the worst acts in the industry. Shotzi and Io Sky, another fucking 3-minute match. Io Sky wins. As expected, nothing out of the ordinary. Io Sky should absolutely be your winner at Money in the Bank. She should absolutely win the briefcase. Next week, we got the Grayson Waller effect with Charlotte Flair. I really do hope that one of my comments is scrolling across the ticker at the bottom for Grayson Waller's Grayson Waller effect. I would love to see the ticker at the bottom show fuck Charlotte Flair. I'd love that. It's not going to happen, but I'd love it. We got a tag team gauntlet match to see who fights Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn next week. Listen, I appreciate that the tag team titles are being gunned at by all these teams. I appreciate the fact that you got Pretty Deadly, you got the Brawling Brutes, you got the Street Profits, you got the OC. I appreciate that. But at the end of the fucking day, can we condense Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to one thing? Can we have them get past Imperium first, and then they could move on to a new tag team? Too fucking much, really. It's too fucking much. Jey Uso and Austin Theory. This is for the United States Championship. So Jey Uso was in control early on. Jey Uso was controlling the pace. Theory came in with a rolling dropkick for a 2. Theory with a torture rack powerbomb for a 2. We had Uso mounting a comeback with a super kick to Theory, but the super kick sent Theory into the ref. Jey with a splash. All of a sudden, Pretty Deadly came out to attack. Jimmy Uso came out to fend off Pretty Deadly. Solo then came in to drop Jimmy. Jey tried to stop Solo from delivering the spike, and Jimmy accidentally super kicked Jey. Jimmy brawled with Solo, and Austin Theory came into the ring to steal the victory. Really nothing more than a match to get the tensions rising, and afterwards, Jimmy Uso tried to reconcile with Jey. As Heyman and Solo watched on, Jey shoved Jimmy, and Jey walked out of the ring. Jey walked up the ramp, and Paul Heyman said, "Call Roman Reigns," into his phone. I don't know what's going to happen next week, but I can only imagine that it's going to be a match being set up between Jimmy and Roman Reigns. That was SmackDown. Not horrible. It wasn't horrible, but holy shit, it was lackluster. Very, very, very lackluster. Really, really, really wish that we could have gotten a show to build on the decent episode of Raw that we got on Monday. I don't understand why we couldn't have gotten that on Friday with SmackDown. It is what it is, but again, outside of the Bloodline storyline, SmackDown, really nothing going on SmackDown, and that's kind of sad. It really is sad. AEW Rampage last week was a very good show. I really wish I could say the same thing this week because Rampage did not hit like it normally hits. Not a very good show. This was probably the worst Rampage that we've had in many, many, many months. And I mean many months. It's been a while since we've had a bad Rampage. Really, really. It's been a while. I think it's probably been at least it's got to be almost a year since we've had a bad episode of Rampage. This was probably one of AEW's worst shows that they've ever produced. This week's Rampage. Too much shit. Too much shit packed into 1 hour. Not enough time for things to really breathe. Too many shenanigans. And a program and a match being set up between Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Karen Jarrett taking on Mark Briscoe, Aubrey Edwards, and Papa Briscoe. Yes, you heard me correctly. You heard me correctly. And I got some shit I got to say about that. Lucha Bros and Bandito. They took on Ethan Page, Big Bill, and Lee Moriarty. And for the most part, this was actually turning into a fun match. We were having some nice triple team action. Crowd was big into the Lucha Brothers. Big Bill mixed it up. We had a nice power slam by Ethan Page, a tag to Phoenix. Phoenix and Penta took out Big Bill with some super kicks. Moriarty and Bill were hit with a big crossbody by Bandito. all of a sudden, Ethan Page, he hit a lariat on Bandito, and then Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy and Jeff Hardy came out, caused a distraction, told Ethan Page to extend the Hardy armbands that Jeff gave to him. So Ethan Page, like an idiot, was distracted by them. And then all of a sudden, Bandito hit the 21-plex, and he won the match. Why do we need this storyline with Ethan Page and Matt Hardy to continue to bleed onto television? It's not going to work. We've seen this shit where one wrestler gets control of another wrestler's contract and they make their lives a living hell for however long they have control of the contract. We don't need that shit. We didn't need this distraction. This would have been just fine as it was if the Lucha Bros and Bandito won clean. A fun match. A fun trios match ruined by a distraction. Powerhouse Hobbs, he beat Caleb Crush. Hobbs just destroyed this guy. He hit the last will and testament for the win. Really nothing of substance to go back and rewatch here. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Hobbs, but I mean, if you want to put Hobbs on Ring of Honor, I would love to see Hobbs on Ring of Honor. You could do some shit with Hobbs on Ring of Honor, having him challenge for the World TV title, maybe challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe after Kingston beats Claudio for the Ring of Honor World Championship, maybe you can give it to Hobbs. That I would not mind. That I would not mind. But this didn't really need to be on the show. Wardlow and Arn Anderson, they cut a promo in the back, and this was actually pretty solid right here. Arn said, Brock will be fine. Arn said, you wanted to send me a message, but it's way beyond that. You made a mistake. You should have finished the job. Wardlow then promised Christian Cage and Luchasaurus will pay, but he says he has an open challenge on Wednesday with Jake Hager. And once that's done, Luchasaurus and Christian's days are done. So we got Wardlow and Jake Hager on Dynamite, and I very much appreciate that because we're getting Wardlow in competitive matches with individuals that can stand toe-to-toe with them. We had a very good ladder match back at Double or Nothing, and we're going to get a very nice open challenge right here with Wardlow and Jake Hager. Jake Hager, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but Jake Hager is a very good professional wrestler. Jake Hager really is a very good professional wrestler. So you put him in there with someone like a Wardlow, you let him go, we're going to get a solid match. So I'm actually looking forward to that on Wednesday. Spanish Announce Project. They took on the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Simple, quick. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass win. I'm not really sure where they're going, but listen, if we're going to do another match with the House of Black, this cannot result in the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass beating the House of Black. House of Black should not be losing until they get to the Blackpool Combat Club. And even then, I would have them beat the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm not sure where they're going to go after that, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, if they're going to put them up against the House of Black, they should not be winning. House of Black needs to retain. Now, I will tell you what I will not mind. If you want to have them go to Ring of Honor and fight the Embassy for the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team titles, that I would not mind because the Embassy's kind of had a solid reign with that already. They've held those titles for almost 8 months now. So if you want to give the titles to Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed in Ring of Honor, and that is their way of getting themselves gold and repaying Daddy Ass for doing what he's doing, that I would not mind. That I would not mind at all. But we cannot see the Acclaimed beat House of Black. Not yet. If the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass are to beat the House of Black, have that be somewhere in the fall. House of Black need a solid reign with the Trios Championships. It feels like they just started. It genuinely feels like they've just started. They've only held the titles since March. Keep those titles on the House of Black. This was fucking terrible right here. Renee Paquette interviewed Jay Lethal and his posse. Karen Jarrett called out Aubrey Edwards, and she said that she's going to make her regret putting her hands on her. Aubrey Edwards came out with Mark Briscoe. Aubrey said that AEW will not sanction a match between us because I am a ref and you're not a wrestler, but whenever I see you, I will kick your ass. Mark Briscoe then said there will be a mixed tag trios match. And Briscoe recruited Papa Briscoe. It will be Papa Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, and Aubrey Edwards versus Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Karen Jarrett. All I have to say is, why? Why? Why is this happening? I love Tony Khan and I love what he's done for pro wrestling, but holy shit, this is probably one of the biggest flops that he has done, one of the biggest fuck-ups that he could potentially make, one of the biggest negatives to come out of AEW, minus the fact that the TNT title has been booked horribly. Minus the fact that the terrible booking for the TNT Championship, this has been Tony Khan's biggest flop within the last year plus. Hands down. This is fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. The fact that we have to be subjected to Karen Jarrett fighting an individual who's supposed to be a referee, regardless of whether or not it is in mixed tag team action, and we need Papa Briscoe fighting alongside his son Mark Briscoe, that shit, I am sorry. That shit is fucking terrible. That is some WWE-esque shit. I shit on it in WWE, and I'm going to shit on it here. We need Mark Briscoe on Ring of Honor, continuing to win matches, and building up a match towards Death Before Dishonor to take the World TV Championship off of Samoa Joe. This shit, terrible. We need to get Jay Lethal in the singles division and have Jay Lethal fighting for the TNT, for the All-Atlantic, for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. That's where Jay Lethal needs to be. This shit with Jeff Jarrett is absolutely fucking horrible. Horrible. Fucking ridiculous. I don't believe I have to sit here and I need to complain about that on AEW television. TK, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, man, but that shit, no. Get that shit out of here. Main event was Britt Baker, Sky Blue, Nyla Rose, and Mercedes Martinez #1 contenders match. Really nothing over the top here. This was very, very quick. And in the end, it was Sky Blue that ended up getting the win here with a very sloppy looking code red on Nyla Rose. Again, just another match that was packed into the show with no real room to breathe. And it just did not hit the way that we all thought it was. Very, very, very sloppily put together Rampage. Very much of a downgrade from last week. I will say one positive, though. One positive about the main event, Sky Blue got the win. I am very, very happy that Sky Blue, the young talent, is getting a showcase next week. You see, they could have easily gone with Britt. But they gave it to Sky Blue. That I appreciate. Because even though it was a shit episode of Rampage, Tony Khan still pushing the young talent. And that I must praise. Because again, if this was WWE, they'll just go right back to Charlotte. Always getting a title match. Charlotte. But with AEW, you got new people being built up to take the spot one day of a Tony Storm, the spot one day of a Chris Statlander, of a Britt Baker. And Sky Blue is one of those women. So I appreciate the fact that Sky Blue won this match. And I'm very much looking forward to see what Sky Blue does in her match with Tony Storm. I'm very much looking forward for that. Not a good episode of Rampage. SmackDown wasn't all that good either. But ladies and gentlemen, we're clocking in at a good time. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you all for tuning in. If you guys are in the New Jersey area, come on out to Totowa, New Jersey for Totowa Day. Got some ISPW action going down on Totowa Day. It's going to be a damn good day. It's a nice day out. I'm getting ready to go work out. But thank you all once again for tuning in. You guys make DJ Storms worthwhile. You guys make being DJ Storms being worthwhile. We got plenty of good shit going down. Coming up, we got the rundown for Forbidden Door coming to you guys in a little over 2 weeks. That's going to take place on Thursday, June 22nd at 7:30 p.m. And for the very first time ever, I got someone live from Australia. Her name is Alicia Joyce. She is a big-time Kenny Omega fan, and she is going to be my guest for the rundown for Forbidden Door. I will be flying solo for the rewind for Forbidden Door because that's on a Monday. And then in about a little over 2 weeks, we got ourselves the rundown for Money in the Bank. That's going to be on June 29th. June 29th. And my man Lil Stevie is going to be coming on. You guys remember Lil Stevie? He always comes on my channel for the Battle of the Belts rundowns. And he will be coming on my channel for the rundown for Money in the Bank. He's a good guy. That's going to be June 29th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do not miss it there. And then on July 2nd, 2 p.m. I'm mixing up the times over here. 2 p.m. July 2nd, my main man, Mac the Giants fan, he's going to be coming on my channel, and he is going to be my guest for the rewind for Money in the Bank. Hooligan, he's got his own little thing going down on July 25th at 8:30 because Hooligan's coming on my channel for the rewind for Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. That's going to be one hell of a show. It's always a hell of a show when Hooligan comes on. But until then, thank you guys very much. Do not forget to like, to comment, and subscribe. I am DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, people, I need y'all to tell me who runs the IWC. It's an age-important question that everybody must answer. Who runs it? Who? I'll tell ya who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.